Let's all observe a moment of silence. Thank you very much. You'll be seated. They can follow what we are doing this side, or they can hear. May I get an indication once the sound is sorted? Again, councillors, apologies for that. We want us to take some few minutes while the team is trying to assist us. Thank you.
Is this a planned load shedding in Durban? If it is, I'm just wondering why is it that we didn't know about this and make contingency arrangements? It's very much like the robots, you know.
Councillors, I've just got an indication that the sound has been now sorted. If maybe there are councillors who still experiencing some problems with the sound, please indicate. The team will just, you are kindly requested to complete the attended register posted on the MS team charge. Any councillor experiencing a challenge, please contact the MS chat. Councillors, I want to sincerely apologize to those councillors who receive their main council agenda late. The matter is delivered very late for this council meeting. Then I identified 9 Councillor Ngobi Ka Victor Molife, praying that police investigation will reveal the assassinators for justice to prevail. Council mourn the loss of one of our employees, our colleague, Mr. Kasim Piri, who was working at Operation Sukuma. We have been informed again this morning that another council employee has been shot and killed. But at this point in time, we have not yet received all the details. Council members will be informed once we've got more detailed information. The leadership of the municipality strongly condemns the killings of the municipal employees, and intervention will be made accordingly to prevent such for justice to prevail. Condolences to the families and the Ukhoz FM family. Councillors, it would be very remiss of me not to acknowledge and thank all those councillors who are following our council proceeding, the members of the public who are following our council proceeding on our social. The load shedding is a matter that affects the whole country. For the rest of the items that are directed to the municipality is working very hard in fixing the water and sanitation, the infrastructure, and on cleaning the city in a more sustainable manner. In this regard, we call upon our residents to take pride in their city by reducing the amount of litter that is discarded carelessly. Litter belong in a bin always. We also call upon our businesses to desist from illegal dumping of waste. We want also to take this opportunity as council to send a message to the city manager and his team and the city leadership that these concerns raised by our members of the public, of which all of us sitting here, we represent them. These issues, I want to make an official appeal as a Speaker of Council on behalf of the people of eThekwini for these matters to be attended to and be addressed urgently. I encourage councillors on the same breath. We congratulate Isilo Samabandla Wonke, King Mrs. Zulu Kazolitini for hosting the first contribute to the effort activities and the overall upbringing of a girl child on the 23rd of September. What a good coincidence for him to be born on a Heritage Month. We wish his excellent health and wisdom to lead successfully. The news of the brutal killing of Iso Lesilo, Dr. Kumalo, after attending Umkhosi Mhlanga, dampened the spirit of the Zulu nation, wishing his family to find solace during this trying time and also praying for the law enforcement agencies to apprehend the perpetrators. It is pleasing to report to the people of eThekwini that the city's economy is slowly recovering, with a number of events having been hosted successfully and others still on the calendar of events to be hosted in the Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center. The recent event being the successful business fair and fashion fair, the resilience by the city after the triple disaster is amazing and humbling. The city joined the KZN province in mourning the loss of 20 people, mostly the primary school kids in the area of Pongolo, following the crash between the truck and the van. May the families be granted strength as they begin the healing journey. Councillors are encouraged to conduct themselves with dignity and decency during the council proceeding and in compliance with the expectation in terms of the councillor code of conduct. As we are convening through the MS teams, councillors are requested to ensure that they connect in a decent environment with no disturbance to be caused by the surrounding. It also being noted that some of the council matters are of a confidential nature. Councillors to be the veto, individual councillors are connecting. Stay connected for the allow this to all councillors celebrating their birthday this month. It is worth mentioning that our political head, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Mxolisi Kaunda, celebrated his birthday on the 13th September 2022. Unwele Lute, His Worship Mayor Mbimbi. I won't disclose how old are you, but I remember that there was some information on the social media, some people disclosing your age, but I know they were wrong. Thank you very much, councillors. Those were the announcements. We will now going to get the report from the speaker. Councillors in 2022. For the council to consider the appointment of Councillor Alicia Kison from the Democratic Alliance to the Municipal Public Accounts Committee MPEC, replacing the late Councillor Terence Collins. For the Municipal Council to consider the appointment of Councillor Andrew from the Democratic Alliance to be 56, 67, and 77 convened by the PR. 1017, 26, 37, 40, 45, 46, 54, and 85. One meeting was held in a quarter. There were 7, 39, 40, 41, 45, 55, 58. All aim on 17 parameters in their environment. Because it's a matter of compliance. Maybe in a speaker and which committee to keep we are not in compliance with the rules. 17 committee meeting in a quarter out of 111 hours. That number is disappointing. All committees continue to hold the monthly meetings as required in terms of the rules and regulations that establishment and operations of ward committees. During the quarter of July to September 22, the following is a record meetings held, noting that currently the municipality has only 109 noted, and we thank you very much to those councillors and members of the ward committee who continue to take their job serious of making sure that the ward committee meetings are convened. But while we are happy with the number of ward committee meetings convened, some ward committee meetings, they don't provide evidence, portfolio of evidence that a meeting, yes, indeed, it was convened. In terms of the two outstanding ward committee election, is Ward 39 and Ward 97. Plans are underway to hold the elections in Ward 97 by the end of September. In Ward 39, there has been a proposed date because we are busy dealing with the issue of safety through intervention meetings. And in the following wards, Ward 19, Ward 23, Ward 34, such matters were addressed, resolved, and closed off. However, 101, there are further engagement to be held to try to resolve outstanding matters, some of which are political in nature. As we receive reports from different ward committees, they are raising specific issues with us. We assist them working with the councillor to attend to those matters. I'm happy that some of the wards, as we've reported, their issues have been resolved. Those that are not yet resolved, but we are working collectively to address them. At the last council meeting, that was on the 26th of August 2022, council noted the passing of one of its long-serving councillor from Democratic Alliance, excuse me. MPEC is a Section 79A committee established by the Municipal Council with the membership, therefore, being allocated proportionally in terms of proportional allocation. Leli committee le-MPEC lakheke kanje. African National Congress about 5. Democratic Alliance about 3. Combined with what participatory system. In line with the above, the Municipal Council established the Executive Committee comprising of 10 members with seats allocated on a proportional basis, 1, EFF 1, with one of the Executive Committee members from the DA, Councillor Nicole Graham having resigned from the Municipal Council. The DA has a vacancy in the committee. The DA caucus leader has advised that Councillor Andrew Bekte has been appointed to serve on the Executive Committee, filling the vacancy created by the resignation of our former Councillor Nicole Graham. The Municipal Council, it is hereby recommend that the Municipal Council approve the appointment on a proportional basis of Councillor Andrew Bekte from the Democratic Alliance to serve on the Executive Committee, replacing Councillor Nicole Graham. The Municipal Council is advised that the democratic representation that was created by the resignation of the former, we welcome Councillor Kubisa to the welcome. Council will note the sudden sad passing of the Councillor Molefe in Ward 99, as currently there are 2 ward councillor vacancies in council. There is Ward 10 and Ward 99. A by-election will be held in November 2022, and Ward 10 will be addressed at that particular time. And the date for Ward 99, the confirmation from IEC. This report, Council, is submitted for consideration. Thank you very much. Councillors, let me give the head of legal, Jomane, to say something. Jomane.
Thank you, Babu Speaker. After considering your report, I noted that it deals with the vacancy in the which, in terms of which the council appoints committees. It has to appoint members of the committee. So, Councillor Kissen, the appointment should be approved by the council, whereas Councillor Beerte, the council amounts to determining in terms of Section 45 of the Structures Act. So, in short, Babu Speaker, there would need to be two resolutions, one under 2 point, I think it's 2.45, where there would be a noting of the appointment of Councillor Beerte, as well under 2.36, where there will be approval of the appointment of Councillor Kisson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Babu Jomane, for that guidance. Councillors, impact.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. We will thank you very much, councillors. We'll then proceed. Before we proceed, councillors, I will like to request party whips to confirm the numbers so that we know that the meeting correct. Let me have the screen while we allow party whips to confirm the numbers quickly. Let's start from the ANC. Can I have numbers? ANC. Let's move on while the ANC, maybe they are sorting themselves. DA.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Firstly, if I may request that our Chief Whip, Councillor Vincent Kiza, be unmuted. But at the last count, we were 54, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Babu Mtetwa. He will be unmuted.
Speaker,
Yes. Who's speaking?
uGwales okhulumayo we-ABC khona la Sotho.
Siyabonga bobukhwala noma sangafiki kwi-ABC bese kwi-DA. Kodwa
Yeah,
thank you ukuthi uhambe ngespeed kuyasisiza nalokho. EFF.
Greetings, Speaker. EFF, we are 20. Other councillors are still trying to log in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. IFP.
Morning, Speaker. The IFP is on 15, and maybe if I can check with the Speaker, maybe I didn't not hear you announcing the passing of the ex-councillor Umam Shabalala from the IFP of Lindelani, while you were calling the names of the person that have passed.
Thank you very much, Councillor Okumete. Unfortunately, I won't allow us to discuss the speaker's report. Yes, we are aware about the passing of Mam Shabalala with a discussion with Action SA.
Morning, Speaker. 3. Hi, Speaker.
3 Action SA, APC 2, ACC.
2, Speaker.
Thank you, ACTP. ACTP. AIC. AIC. I hope all the party whips, their mics are muted. Al-Chama. JEP. I'm not sure, councillors, whether the problem is with the with your microphone by so many. KZNI. MF.
Good morning, Speaker. I'm present.
Thank you. Mosa.
Well, good morning, Present, Mr. Speaker.
NFP.
Siyabonga Somlomo sikhona endlini siyabonga.
PRM. TA.
TA is present.
Speaker,
Who was that?
from the ANC, we are 88.
Come again, we can't hear well. ANC.
Single 88, not 82.
Thank you very much. 88. You.
UIM 1.
Thank you.
Present.
Freedom Front.
Freedom Front +1. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Now, let's call those who have not responded. They start from ACTP.
Speaker, ACDP 2, thank you.
Thank you. HEM. No response. Al-Jama.
Jama 1, Speaker.
Thank you. JEP. I keep on doing. Okay. Al-Jama. HEM. Sorry, HEM.
ATM present.
Thank you. KZNI. Bakon. Thank you.
I'll check AIC.
I think it's AIC now. No, TA responded. There one. AIC. We have a leave of absence from Councillor Mhlaba from AIC, but they're supposed to be 2. I think we'll move it is. Let's check the quorum, colleagues. Yeah, the council meeting quorate, councillors. Therefore, the meeting is confirmed. I thank you very much. We will now proceed with our meeting. I will request the city manager to present the leave of.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We have the following leave of absence. Councillor M. Mkize, who is indisposed for today only. Councillor D. James, who is also indisposed for today. Councillor M. F. Ndlovu, who is also indisposed for today. Councillor D.T. Pillay, who is not available due to personal commitments, which started yesterday.
Move to the confirmation of minutes of our previous. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I just jumped one item here. in the agenda approaches the declaration of interest before we move to the confirmation of from who? From who? From who? Councillors, I just get an indication from my team that there are councillors who have raised their hands. Is Councillor Nobuth, is Councillor Mbonambi, and Councillor Kuala. Let me hear you, councillors. Have you unmuted them? Councillor Nobuth, have been unmuted. Bonambi? Can you please unmute Councillor Bonambi? Councillor Bonambi, please unmute yourself that side. You are unmuted on this side. Councillor Kuala?
Somlo.
Councillor.
Ngibingelele. Ngibona ukuthi siyobasebenza ubulungiswa uma sikhuluma ngalama minute sithi ama true reflection. Waye ngisho njalo page 794 kuma minute.
Kahle
item 11.6.
Kahle ke mhlonishwa. Asilinde kancane ngoba asikafiki emaminithini. Sayakona soqala ngama corrections before so adopt. Angithi ngithi ngisangena kona ngabona kuphakamile izandla.
Okay.
That's why I was checking those hands. If there are no other issues, let's move straight to the declaration of interest. Is there anyone who want to declare an interest before we confirm minutes? No one.
Hi, Speaker.
Yes.
Sorry, I also had my hand up. Councillor Mkhize from the DA.
All right, Councillor Mkhize, you want to declare interest?
No, sorry, I was on a minute on people who like to leave early if the meeting is not finished on time.
No. We don't discuss such under minutes. We discuss that under leave of absence. You forward that to my office, and the city manager will just announce it here if there are such approaches. Let's just councillors move to.
No, sorry, Speaker.
Sorry, Speaker.
My hand were up. You
Sorry,
were
Speaker.
unable to recognize me, Speaker.
No. Listen, case we don't take approaches in that manner in council. You don't raise a hand to register an approach in council. You fill up a leave of absence form, you forward to the relevant office. The city manager, there's an item before we start our meeting where he read all the approaches. And then approaches have to be accepted by council. We have done that already.
Sorry, Speaker.
No.
Agreed, Speaker.
No.
Speaker, I'm aware of the process. Speaker.
No.
This is
listen.
Only if
Listen.
if the meeting is not finished, Speaker.
No. Let's not argue the rules. Let's not argue the rules, right? And then there's someone who keep on calling speaker. It's wrong, councillors. While I'm addressing council, to keep on calling speaker, you are disrupting the meeting. Wait for me to finish my point. Then if you want to speak, you raise your hand. You will be recognized like all other councillors who have raised their hands, and then they were recognized like Bobo Mkhize as I'm trying to address him. Bobo Mkhize, I'm sure you are clear. There was someone saying, Speaker, what is the issue?
No, ngiyaxolisa Speaker, umnikazi lo kade ungimemeza i-gadget yami nginikeza problem. Fortunately sengikhona. Yilokho nje bengireport, ngiyaxolisa kakhulu.
Thank you, Bobo Mkhize. We are confirming your attendance. Councillors, there are two sets of minutes, but the other minutes are for an in-committee meeting. They will be approved or corrected in the in-committee meeting. It's for the meeting that was on the 26th of August 2022. We will start with corrections. Then in terms of page numbers, they start from page Councillor Vice?
Thank you, Speaker. Just on the recording of those that were absent, I did submit a application.
Councillor Vice, no, Councillor Vice, no. We are still starting to correct. I was just looking the pages in the report. You are going to raise corrections as soon as we arrive in the pair.
My apologies.
Now let's start from page 776, 777, 778. We're doing corrections.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
My hand is raised.
Yeah, on page?
On page 776.
Yes, you can speak, Councillor Reddy. You can speak.
Thank you. Under my name, it should be
781, any correction? 782, 783, 784, 785, 786, 787, 788, 789, 790, 791, 792, 793, 794, 795, 796, 797, 798, 799, 800. No hand. Yes, Councillor Kuala, your hand is up. Councillor Mbonambi, you'll be the next. You tell me the page and the correction. Councillor Kuala.
Ngibonga Somlo. Ngisabungivimbe ngisakhuluma Somlo. Kodwa ngicathi bengizama ukulekelela.
Yebo, singacorrect baba.
Page Audible Speaker.
Yes, baba.
La Somlo ngikhala ngama-minute question.
Page?
The question I raised.
Babu Kuala, asinike the page le correction.
Ngiyazwakala Somlo?
Yezwakala baba, yezwakala.
Inkinga nalento ya visual Somlo. Ngathi ngikhuluma ngedwa la.
Hayi ngiyakuzwa mina ungesabi. Asicorrecteke baba councillor, ishi page ne correction.
Ngiraise ama-question la Somlo. Wesikhuluma ngama-CIP. Kodwa manje isivela ngenye indlela la.
Upage ba councillor.
On page 794.
794. Yebo ngacorrecta baba.
794.
Yes.
Mhlawumbe ngizoxolisa nje mhlawumbe ukuthi ngisebenzisa kabuhlungu Somlo. But sikhuluma nge-CIP ukuthi each word kodwa mase siya lapha kuma response kubhalwe number 1 futhi it's a response from question 1. Ikhuluma ngo 330 million. From ukwazi kwami ke masithi ama-ward awu-111, each ward siyinika 3 million, that will kuzoba i-total kuzoba u-333 million. Lo 3 million engawazi ukuthi ushonephi njengoba mase kubuyiswa la. Bese enye into somlomo sikhuluma lapha kwekhansela wayengiphendula wawuphendula item 4 but la ayisekho impendulo ka question 4 ukuthi akungidideka lokho somlomo ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani. Bese kuzoba khona futhi into ethi we had the budget card whereby wonke lapha ezansi.
All right, 795.
Yes.
Yini uyikholetha la?
Sekubaliwe ke somlomo itotal isiphuma isithi kusala.
But because now, Councillor Kuala, I can't allow maybe the Secretariat to respond on the spot on the issues they are raising for correction. I want Council to note these corrections and then the team will check or verify with our recordings and manage. Then it will then be collected by that time. But thank you very much, Councillor Kuala, for bringing that to our attention. Councillors, oh, okay. There was Babumbonambi. Babumbonambi wanted to correct something. Corrections, councillors. We are in 796. Yes, Councillor Khan, your hand is up. Page 796. Councillor Khan.
No, my apologies, Mr. Speaker. I had it up from a long time, but I seem not to get it down.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. 797, 798, 799, 800, 801, 802, 803, 804, 805, 806, 807, 808, 809, 810, 811, 812, 813, 814. There's no hand, 815, 816. Yeah, councillors, there's a mic that is making noise. Please mute your mic. There's a mic that is disturbing us. Please mute all your mics. 817, 818, 819, 820, 821.
Somlo.
Babu Kwale, your hand is up again.
Yebo somlo.
Yebo kansana.
820.
820, yes. Ngena ba.
Somlomo ngathi kuzomela silokhuzana page 820 item 2.3 request for authority to purchase additional mobile water tankers. Ngathi somlomo namanje sasathi ukudiscussa le. Kodwa ngibona ukuthi asibenzi ubulungiswa masikhuluma ngeinamba. Ngihlale ngisho ke lento yeinamba ukuthi akumele inamba sikhohlisane ngeinamba ngoba asikhona ehlathini la.
Beka Babu Kwale correct. Councillor Kwala.
Baba Somlo.
Yazwakala Council, qhubeka.
Uma uya ku page 821 paragraph 2 ukhomba ukuthi izibalo zethu lapha azizona. Uma sithi a month siharisha 52 water tankers at 6.2 million. Bese sothi after 10 years leyo mali yoba u28,520,228 rand. Ayiyenzi sense Somlo. Ngoba unyaka odwa uma uqasha ama water tanker u52 ngo6.2 million, that is equivalent to 74,400,000 leya mali. Let alone ke leyo ukuthi athengwa ngamalini each. Ake sikhulume le ukuthi after 10 years so bes accumulated 28 million, whereas water tanker is costing us 6.2 million times 52 that is required. Ayiwenza umqondo phelele Somlomo. Uma sivuma ama minute nje akhuluma ngama reflection ongekusiwona, ngathi kwamele ngempela sibe nobulungiswa ngoba simela abantu. Uma kuthi ithe misprint kwamele ngempela iqonde, kodwa asikwazi ukukhuluma into eyodwa silokho siyiphindile. Ngiyabonga Somlomo.
Thank you. Councillors, please mute your mic. Councillor Madlala, your hand is up.
Thank you very much, Babu Speaker.
Councillors, please, as requested earlier, please mute your mics. Councillor Madlala is recognized. Please don't disturb.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the Mayor, Deputy Mayor, City Manager, and all the officials, fellow councillors, members of the community tuning in, and members of the media. Honorable Speaker, I didn't want to, out of respect, raise an order to Councillor Kwala because I wanted to correct procedure. If we are on the adoption of the minutes, correction and adoption of the minutes, what we are required to do is to correct if there's a typing error or there's a misrepresentation of what was said in a meeting. However, if you were in a meeting and for some odd reason you agreed on the agenda that had wrong numbers, you cannot correct that through the minutes because it was not corrected in the meeting itself. If the adoption happened with those numbers, then those numbers must stand, and then you must then in a meeting put in a proposal, a new motion or proposal that says you want to recall that item so that it becomes part of the agenda and talk about it, or alternatively you can then submit it as a matter arising so that you go back to it and you correct it. But you cannot do that through the minutes because if we correct the numbers, as Bob Kwala is saying, I've not done the calculation, so I'm not sure. I'm not this raising. Very much.
Writing those corrections, we will follow up that and check. As Councillor Madlala has said, because this is a procedure, as I've responded earlier to your point. Thank you very much, Babu Kwala. Babu Mbonambi, your hand was up for corrections. Which page? Right, page 822, 823, 824, 825, 826, 827, 828, 839, 840, 841, 842, 843, 844, 845, 846, 847, 848, 849, 850, 851, 852, 853, 854, 855, 856, 857, 858, 859, 860, 861, 862, 863, 864, 865, 866, 867, 868, 869, 870, 871, 872, 873, 874, 875, 876, 877, 878, page 879, 880, 881, 882, 883, 884, 885, 886, 887, 888, 889, 890, 891, 892, 893, 894, 895, 896, 897, 898, 899, 900, 901, 902, 903, 904, 905, 906. Councillor Kuala, you are noted. Any other hand? Kuala pen. Councillor Kuala, matters arising.
Angibonga somlo. Ngicathi angibonge ku council uMadlala. Ukuthi angibuyise njengomzali ukuthi hayi mhlambe le matter ngiraise uma matter arise. Ngicela ukwenza kanjalo ke somlo. Page 821 paragraph 2 sithi njengomkhandlu siharisha ama water tanker awu 52 at a cost of 6.2 million. So sithi ke leyo nto izosenza izoscosta after 10 years u28,520,228. So yona lento engithi ayinjalo somlo. Yona matter ke evukayo ukuthi yenzeka kanjani into enjalo ngoba mina ngolwazi lwami njengokhansela uGwala ngazi ukuthi uma every month uzokhipha 6.2 million after 12 months kuzoba u74.4 million. Shuti after 10 years that will be billions. It can't be kube u28,520,228. Yikho ngithi somlomo le item le njengoba sasiyikhuluma angazi kodwa noma phela mhlawumbe khona into ejahiwe kodwa bekufanele le item siyikhulume ngendlela ukuthi sibuyisele kahle emuva le item iyokhulunywa kulungiswa ama figures ngoba into esibangayo la ama figures ngoba somlomo awukwazi ukuthi uthi into ezokhosta u74.4 million in 1 year uthi wena that cost will be 28 million in 10 years. Angazi jabe kuthiwa senza kanjani somlomo noma mhlawumbe mina imethe engazange ngiyifunda but ikhomba ukuthi kunenkinga la somlomo ongamele ke somlomo ebuholini bakho kube khona ama heroes anje azohlala enzeka singawalungisi bengithi ke somlomo mhlambe uma kunendlela sithole na ilegal opinion ukuthi mase kunje ngekuthiweni mhlawumbe ngiyoze ngenze nje umzekelo ngeke ngakhuluma ngeitem eyayikhuluma ngemali okwakumele ibuyele kwiprovince kwenye item kwasuka umeya wathi ingoba ngifundi
kahleke babugwala kahleke babugwala
so ngikhuluma ngama-figures kodwa initial masuwabuka ama-figures asuke ekhuluma lento
please listen babugwala
ngiyacela somlo mhlawumbe ke simthole naye ukuthi angachazela kanjani ukuthi uma sesi-wrong ngoba sesi-wrong
babugwala phela funa uma ngithi thuluthule uma nginika ithuba uma sengithi thula
through you ke somlomo ngicela
yakhuluma
kanjani
kahle council Gwala kahle khuluma ngodaba olukuma minutes ofuna ukukhuluma ngalo ngicabanga ukuthi sezizwakele leli elikuparagraph 2 kodwa mekukhona ufuna ukuqedela can I give you a few seconds uqedele council Gwala
matters are rising 821
yeah thanks
okay somlomo bungasazwakala
We can't hear you, Somdom.
oh councillors I'm now audible
No,
We can't hear you, Somdom.
no sound.
okay thank you councillors let's try to fix it colleagues there's no sound
manje kwezudlayo somlomo ngisho ukuthi somlomo asivume iphutha esilenzile bese sibuka ukuthi silungisa kanjani through legal opinion
councillors I'm now audible
yebo somlomo
singezwakala
Yes.
ngiyabonga council Gwala siyabonga ngamaphuzu owaphakamisayo ku page 2821 ukuthi kulungiswe inamba into bengifuna ukuthi ngiyisuggest kule item ukuthi ake sithi uyibeka eceleni sinote ngendlela oyibeka ngayo kodwa ucity manager kanye no DCM or relevant sikwazi ukuthi sicheke i-report eyayize kwi-ESCO ukuthi yayize nazo yini lezi number noma lezi number lezi zibhaleke kabi after i-council idiscussed udaba then once ke senza lokho sokwazi ukuthi sithole kahle umnyombo noma umsuka wale number eyibuye siphambene indlela eyibhalwe ngala babugwala ngoba njengamanje ngeke sikwazi ukuba simbuyeni ukuthi sithi siyakulungisa lokhu nalokhu ngoba asiphethe leyo report but izinto eziphakamisayo ziyabonakala zicacile zisobala siyabonga kakhulu babugwala
somlo ngiyaxolisa
who's that
ukhantsela ugwaqo
no babugwala no sekunike ithola kuba mayor baba mayor
somlo
no gwala no sokhulumile baba mayor
bengifisa ukuveza lento ayishoyo kodwa
No, thanks, thanks, Honorable Speaker. I'm covered by your summary on this matter that since Councillor Gwala has been recorded, the Secretariat will take what he has submitted and the municipal manager and the department will have to respond to what he has submitted. So it will be corrected in the next minutes of our meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Bob Mayor. Councillors, any other hand on matters arising? Bakhona kodwa laba abasavule ama microphones bebekhuluma behlebeza siyezwe. Ngicela councillors sonke lesiwamute ama mics ethu ukuze singawuphazamisa umhlangano ngicela. Sekhona isandla abafuna ukuphawula kweyivuke ema-minute. Uma singasekho isandla ke can I get the mover for the adoption of this minute with the corrections that have been recorded or raised? And the last matter, Councillor Gwala raised the way we have summarized it. Let me get the mover.
Honorable Speaker, I move. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a mover. Any seconder?
Honorable Speaker, I second. Councillor Said.
Yeah, thank you very much. The minutes on the 26th August 22 have been moved and seconded. Thank you very much. We will now proceed with our agenda. We are done now with minutes. What's going to happen now? We are going to deal with the in-committee meet later on the in-committee meeting. Now we're moving to Or Bob Mayor, hand is up again.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I'm trying to remove it. It's now moved.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillors, we'll now move to the questions. Babu Kwala, your hand is up.
Yebo Somlomo.
Khuluma, Councillor.
Kubuhlungu khona Somlomo njengomphathi nangumhlonishwa mangivinjwa nje ngizama ukulungisa la ngoba amaphutha siyawenza bese siba big headed, of which is wrong. I-agenda from human settlement ifike with the same figures. Ngizama ukunika wena ngoba uhlali kulela.
Kahle Babu Kwala. Minutes have been corrected, moved and adopted. Anything that you have said has been recorded and it will be attended to as we have proposed with my corrections. Angichazele ukuthi ngithini. Zonke into eshoyo zibalekile ziyezwakala. Si instructor usithi manager no DCM or relevant for the class aku DCM khanyile ukuthi babuke i-report eyasubmita kwi-ESCO nale number ukuthi zazimi kanje noma le number zibhaleke kabi sekuxoxa kwi-council, then kwi-next council loludaba ngoba liqoshwa phansi uzobuya umbiko ukuthi lihambe kanjani. Sivala kanjalo Babu Kwala, ngeke siqale phansi ngoba sewireyizile yangaphikiswa umuntu sa-summarize kuyona amove ama-minutes a-adoptwa. Ngiyacela council ukuthi siqhubeke nomhlangano ngoba the first question, councillors, on page 6, because the question on page 5, we have interacted with Councillor Jane Naidu, and a response has been prepared in writing and forwarded to her because this question was included in the previous council agenda. Unfortunately, Councillor Jane was not part of the meeting at the time. Then in terms of the rules, we could not respond to a question while she was not part of the meeting, but responses have been prepared and forwarded to her. We'll now start from page 6. From page 6, the response is from His Worship, Councillor Kaunda. Mayor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The response is as follows. On question 6, the event was SAPS from SAPS Metropolis safety officers and attendees as per the attendance register for the applicable meetings, which they normally participate in section 4 meetings. Question number 2, when did the notice warning residents of the event go out and to whom? The event organizer and the responsible person for the venue were tasked to inform the residents of the applicable closures on Thursday, the 21st of July 2022. Question 3, how many Metropolis officers were deployed for the event on both day and the night shift? There are 93 members. Day and night were deployed for this event. Question 4, how many vehicles were towed away for obstructing entrances to residential buildings? There were 34 vehicles towed, including both obstruction of entry, exit and roadway. Question 5, how many fines, if any, were issued for illegal parked vehicles? 176 vehicles were prosecuted for the following parking offences. Firstly, parked on a sidewalk, there were 42. Red line, no stopping, 59. Parked on yellow line, no parking area, 23. Unlicensed, 11. Obstruction includes both roadway and entrance and exit, 41. In total, there were 176. Question 6, how many people were fined and or prosecuted for acts of public indecency? Firstly, indecent and behavior bylaw, 1 person. urinate in public places? 4. Question 7. How many people were arrested for drinking in a public place who consumed alcohol in public place of nuisance were registered at the emergency call center on each night? Please find inventory of all complaints relating to the bylaws for the beach area. We have a total of 33 complaints. Below is a table of the breakdown of the 22nd and the 22nd to the 24th of July 2022. So these are the offenses in details, which I can't go through. The author of the question can go through them. Question 10, how many Metropolis vehicles were deployed for the event? The number of vehicles utilized for the event fluctuated as the event was and is part of the beachfront division of Metropolis. That's not easily ascertainable. Question 11, what was the cost of the event to Metropolis? Cost of the event as per the plan.
But Mayor, your time is expired. Your three minutes is expired.
Yeah, so I'm done. I'm done, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. 5 minutes is expired. Then Councillor who have asked the questions, those responses will be forwarded to him in writing. Thank you very much, Baba Mayor. We now move to questions on page 7. Councillor Susoga. Five minutes. Councillor Susoga, please raise your hand so that we unmute you this side. Yeah, you are now unmuted. You can address Council. Councillor Susoga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Questions were raised by Councillor Syed. First question, what is the staff complement employed by the water and sanitation unit? And the response is there is 3,558 staff members. Second question, how many of the staff are plumbers who carry out repairs of water supply system? And the response is that there is 119 artisan plumbers. Third question, how many of the staff are allocated vehicles? And the answer is 119 subjects to vehicle roadworthiness. Question 4, how many vehicles does the unit have allocated for repairs of water supply? And the answer is same as the previous answer, 119. Fifth question, what is the fuel literage for those vehicles in the last month? And the response is that since they're inquiring about last month, the recon has not been done, and the answer will be available once the recon has been done. Question 6, what measures are in place to avoid abuse of vehicles? And the response is that all cars are fitted with a net start tracking device that is linked to a touch key that is allocated to each driver within the unit. And in addition to this, there is an existing policy and processes that guide employees on the use of municipal vehicles. Number 7, how many contractors does the unit issue contracts to? And the answer is this information again will be provided together with the one regarding to the petrol usage. Number 8, how many jobs were reported and attended to across the city in the last 3 months? And the answer is 32,285. Question 9, what number of these jobs were allocated to contractors and how many were allocated to internal plumbers? And the answer is 28,529 were allocated to contractors and 5,564 jobs were allocated to internal plumbers. Question 10, how many hours of overtime was logged and claimed over the last 3 months by the staff who work on repairs of water supply, have performance plan and individual goals that are set. And the last question, are contractors allocated work on as and when need basis? And the answer is the unit strategically elects to insource or outsource work according to requirement. The number of outsourced staff vehicles, for example, plumbers and security, according to the workload and backlog. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Councillors, at 12 o'clock, the power will be back as Lord chatted. To me, they need how many minutes? For us, if I get an indication, you need how many minutes to reconnect after we are back? 5, 10? They need 10 minutes. Yeah, we are going to take a short break of 10 minutes from 12 o'clock, then we'll be back at 10 past 12 and proceed with our meeting. But let's check the response from Councillor Mavundla on page 9, but there's a hand from Councillor Said. Councillor Said.
Thank you, Speaker. If those questions can be sent to me in soft copy, it will be appreciated, Speaker.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, 5 minutes. Yeah. Deputy Mayor, before you speak, we are already left with 3 minutes before 12. I don't think it would be fair if we check. Yeah, unless if Deputy Mayor, you can try to respond to the few questions, but at 12, you stop. Deputy Mayor?
Ngeke ngikwazi Somlomo ngicela ungena makubuya ugesi.
Ngibuya ugesi ngo-10 past 12. No, yazini, angithi mangena ngithanda ukuthi uswaluze la mithi amabili. Iphendule embalwa lemfushane. Siqedele ngo-10 past 12. Than to lose the remaining 3 minutes. Because we're starting at 12. Now, uma aphendule manje sizohlala senzeni?
Ngiyabonga Somlomo maningi lawe nginawo. Eyokuqala ngithi lebiza ngimunge emizi connected to electricity.
Elect page 7. Page 9, I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor, page 9.
Thank you, Somlomo. Umuzo Kala, how many residents across the city are on the eThekwini municipality billing system who contribute towards rates? The response to that, residential properties contributing towards rates are 472,520. The second question, what is the quantum in rand value of revenue received towards electricity through our billing system over a 3-month period, say from January 2022 to March 2022? The answer to that is that January we received 1.2 billion rand, February we received 1.3 billion, March we received 1.5 billion. If you put it together, it comes exactly to a figure of 4 billion. On the third question, Speaker, what is the amount of electricity in rand value that we have paid to Eskom over the same period of January 2022 to March 2022? The response to that is 2,675,068,905.83. Question 4, how many customers does the city's electricity unit have on the prepaid system on credit as in normal billing? The answer to that, on the credit we have 321,214, and then on prepaid we have 443,517. On question 5, does the city measure its own usage on pump station and street lights, among others, of its own facilities? To respond to that, street lights are unmetered, therefore we don't measure. pump stations are metered supply. On the sixth question, we understand that we have about 595 informal settlements within the city, of which all of them receive CSW services. Water to about 535 and electricity to about 300 of these informal settlements. What measures are in place to stop illegal electricity connections at informal settlement where there is already a supply of electricity through the prepaid system? The answer to number 6 is that routine meter sweeps and removal of illegal connections. This is, however, a losing battle as these illegal connections are restored as soon as the staff leave the site, often with stolen cable from somewhere else. This real causes of this is the poor social economic condition in this settlement. Question number 7, do we have bulk metering before entry of supply into any informal settlement? And are we measuring revenue received within the period system compared to the reading of the bulk supplier? The response to that is no to both. Question number 8, is there enforcement that continuously check on illegal connection? And if so, how often are they affecting disconnection across 595 settlements? The answer to that, yes, electricity does routine illegal removal in all informal settlements. However, there are challenges in some where the safety is a concern and staff are not able to do their work without
connected. I'm audible. I am audible. We're now back. Ogumuntu yangizwa. Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Mayor, you were about to conclude in providing your responses on page 10. Please conclude. Deputy Mayor? Deputy Mayor uzwakali, we can see ukuthi uyakhuluma kodwa uzwakali. Let's check that, colleagues.
Mr. Speaker, I have my hand raised.
Councillor Mavundla, is your mic sorted?
Speaker, I'm okay. Everybody can hear me. It's only you that cannot hear me.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, Councillor Mavundla. But before you proceed to conclude your questions, Councillor Reddy?
Mr. Speaker, whenever we have these interruptions, please verify if we are all on board. I was muted and only came on now. And I could not even hear. So I think it's important before we get into the actual meeting proper that we just verify everybody can hear and they can speak.
Yeah, because you could not hear me, that's what I've done. That's what I started to do. Sure. When I was starting to speak, I checked that councillors are audible to hear me. Then I get an indication that no, some of you do hear me, but when you are responding, I don't hear you.
That's because we can't hear you. How are we going to respond?
We've done that already. Councillor Reddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, proceed.
Ngiyabonga, Babsomlomo. Question number 8. Is there enforcement that continues to check on illegal connections? And if so, how often are they affecting disconnection across the 595 settlements? The answer to that, yes, electricity does a routine illegal removal in all informal settlements. However, there are challenges in some where the safety is a concern and staff are not able to do their work without planned operations with Metro Police and SAPS Police. There are also budget constraints which sometimes limits the operations. Question number 8, does the ratepayer ultimately end up paying for non-revenue services as well as illegal connections of electricity, non-revenue supply of water, as well as CSW services? The answer to number 9, City has to pay all costs of supply to ESCOM, including losses. Question number 10, if so, to what percentage and when will a cap be put on these non-revenue supply, with a solution to the reversal of the problem be implemented? Respond to 10, all non-revenue burden has to be carried by the city. Electricity theft is approximately 8 to 9% of electricity purchase, and this is carried by paying consumers.
Deputy Mayor, your time is up. Yeah, those answers, please, they must be forwarded to the author in writing. Thank you. The question on page 11, Deputy Mayor, you have to provide responses as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do this, Deputy Mayor, to save time, not only to you, but to all other councillors who are going to respond. Let's not read the questions. Let's just zoom into the answer so that you spend your 5 minutes effectively. Don't read the question again. Just go straight to the answer. Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Babu Samlomo. The answer on the first question is a figure of plus minus 120 million. The answer to the second question is no. Contract value was exceeded before the period. The answer to the third question, plus minus 8 months contract value was exceeded before the period. The answer to the fourth question, contracts still under investigation and figures are being populated by finance. The answer to the fifth question, yes, it was referred to CIIU. The answer to the sixth question is that we are awaiting report from CIIU. Thank you, Bob Somlomo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor, with those responses. Question in page 12, Councillor Mngadi. Response? Please, Councillor. Yeah, thank you for raising your hand. We're going to unmute the site. Zongaphendula Councillor. Councillor Mngadi ivule ngalapho microphone.
Ngiyabonga speak.
Yeah.
Ngibingelele uSomlomo. Question 1, how many pools are currently operational in the city?
Asingafunda ama question Councillor Mngadi asiphendule kuphela ngoba uzolimala ku 5 minutes wakho sokuqalela uyabala. Vele uphendule kuphela.
Question 1 is 30. Question 2, e-list will be sent to the person who asked questions. Question 3. Question 3, the closure of pools, especially central, has negative impacts towards tourism and hospitality industry. This encourages visitors from visiting the city since Durban is the main tourist attraction. The whole coastline will be affected as it has popular tourism destination with many large hotel establishments. The tourism value chain is badly affected. For an example, restaurant, entertainment facilities, street vendors, and food stalls all benefit directly from tourists. Question 4. Yes, there is shortage of dry pool. There is shortage of dry pool chemicals and gas. It is main reason for non-reopening of facilities. The 36 months contract is not finalized by SCM. This has been an ongoing issue since the first inception of contract in 2018. The section has had to purchase the chemicals through PQ orders under 200,000, which is not enough to open or maintain all facilities over a certain period. Question 4, shortage of gas. NCP is the supplier of chlorine gas in South Africa, and they are experiencing challenges in their plants and production of gas and have not been able to meet section's demand. They are prioritizing water and sanitation and supply for drinking water. Dry chemicals, in the absence of contracts, we are unable to open other swimming pools. Question 5, during winter season, it has been a practice and a norm that some pools are closed on weekends. This is informed by statistics of pool users. Question 6, this will be addressed when the city has a contract in place. The process is with Supply Management Department. Question 7, as per response under question 1, the city has 30 operational pools within area of jurisdiction. Question 8, there is a problem of the heating system at Kings Park Pool. The heating system was installed by early 1960s. It has now reached its expiry date. The cost for repairs of the existing heating system is 800,000 for the entire facility, and the department has opted to replace an old heating system that will cost 6 million in 2023-2024 financial year. Question 8.1. Yes, there are. Umgababa swimming pool is in Ward 98. The pool does not provide enough heating due to coastal weather conditions. Bayview swimming pool in Ward 70. Pool does not provide enough heating. It has to be repaired. Stanmore swimming pool is in Ward 49. The pool heating system is dysfunctional. Performance were sent to architectural services. 8.2. Due to budget constraint, the department is unable to address this in 22-23 financial year. It will be considered in the next financial year or outer years. 8.3. This can be addressed sooner subject to budget availability. The department has projected to consider the upgrade of heating system in the next financial year or outer years. Question 9. Not yet. The department has requested architectural services to package the whole project with cost estimates. 9.1 not applicable. Question 10. Swimming pool staff is qualified and is experienced and ideal environment. In an ideal environment, each swimming pool is managed by 2 pool supervisors, 3 pool attendants, superintendent oversee the operations of the district pools. In paying pools, there are cashiers, 2 cashiers per pool. In preparation for the season, the department will be doing an annual fitness test for permanent staff in November and has engaged human capital to start with a recruitment process for seasonal staffing. Thank you, Speaker.
Siyabonga kakhulu Councillor Mandlovu. Sesophendula umbuzo olapha ku page 13. uCouncillor Sifiso Mkhize uyena ozosinika impendulo. Khabazela. Cela uphakamisa isandla sakho ukuze sikuvulela imic ngapha.
Somlomo, ngizwakala Somlomo?
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Ukhabazela ungipha amandla akhe special wathi ucela ngimphendulele maqondana ne-public transport.
Siyakuvumela baba.
Umbuzo wokuqala obubuza ngabashayeli ukuthi bangaki impendulo ithi bawu 500 abashayeli esebebenefitile. Bese kuthi owesibili bangaki abanama contract yebo bawuyena 500 futhi imalini yakhokhelwa u-taxi association kusuka ngo-2018 kuze kufinyelele namhlanje imali esikhokhiwe u-15.9 million rand. Owesithathu uthi mangaka ama-association asehlomulile kulelu hlelo. Ama-association asehlomulile wonke awu-78. Olandelayo bese ubuza ngama-region. Ama-region esinayo eThekwini mahlanu. Olandelayo uthi imalini eyakhokhelwa i-region ngayinye kusuka ngawo u-2018 loyo. Imali ekhokhelwe i-region ngayinye kusuka lapho ama-region nje asengishilo ngathi mahlanu. Eyokuqala u-280,000, eyesibili u-280,000, eyesithathu 280,000, eyesine u-280,000, eyesihlanu 280,000. Kusho ukuthi ngayinye iyona mali ebebuyithola. Ngiyabonga Somlomo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor, with those responses. The last question is on page 14. Page 14, Councillor Mnyandu. Please raise your hand so that we unmute you this side. Councillor Mnyandu. Councillor Mnyandu, please respond, or you raise your hand so that we unmute your mic, or you unmute yourself that side if you are already unmuted. Yeah, Councillor Zamasokabase, I think these questions were directed to your committee. But as per the list submitted to me, Councillor Mnyandu was supposed to provide answers for these questions, but he is not responding. I'm not sure what is happening, whether he's experiencing some technical problems where he is, or something has happened. But it looked like we are unable to connect with Councillor Mnyandu. We are still checking him again in the system. He has not raised his hand. Yeah, councillors, let's proceed with the agenda. We will try to discuss with the chair of the committee while the meeting is proceeding, and try to get Mnyandu. Then we'll find time to come back to the question instead of wasting time. Let's move, councillors. Apologies for that, particularly to the author of the question, Councillor Kavenda. We will try to get the answers, and then those answers will be forwarded to you before they are presented to council. Councillors, we are now going to receive the report from the executive. I will then
Speaker?
Request the mayor. There's someone speaking?
Councillor Mthetho speaking.
Mthetho?
My apologies. I just need clarity on Councillor Kavenda's question. Are you saying you're carrying it over, or you will just forward answers to Councillor Kavenda?
No, I'm saying while we continue with the agenda, my team will try to contact the chair of the class, Zamaso Kabase, and try to contact Councillor Mnyandu, whom his name was submitted to me as a person who's going to respond on the question.
I got you.
Yeah. Then once I get that indication, I will guide the meeting accordingly. But our plan is that the question must be responded to here in council agenda, in council. Then the responses will be forwarded in writing to her later. Councillor Chuli, your hand is up. Wilfred? Councillor Chuli, I see your hand. If maybe it's a mistake, let's proceed. Let me request His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Kaunda, to table the executive report. Bob Mayor.
Asonge somlomo sifise ukukhuleka usilo samabandla onke isilo esikhulu bayede namakhosi asendlunkulu bese sifisa ukubingelela wonke amakhansela sicele ukwethula umbiko wesigungu esiphezulu somkhandlu waseThekwini umbiko wokuqala. Siyabonga Somlo.
Thank you very much, His Worship. City Manager, may you please present the item as contained on the ESCO report. City Manager.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The first report is from the Portfolio Committee of Human Settlements and Infrastructure for their meeting which was held on the 6th of the 9th, 2022. Item number 1.1, reprioritization of savings to be utilized on P13220 following gravel roads upgrade in Ward 95. Committee recommends.
Is the councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Sorry. Let me check here. Sorry about that. Item page 16. Yeah, no, there are no speakers here.
Order, Speaker. Order, Speaker.
Yes, Councillor Reid.
I'm just questioning the order of proceedings. Are we dealing with the reports that's coming from EXCO in respect of the last two meetings, or are we dealing with the first report of the Executive Committee on the agenda?
We're dealing with the first report of the executive as they appear in the agenda.
Thank you.
Page 16. No, thank you very much. There are no speakers on the list. I wanted to check that. Councillors, again, let me ask for record. Is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. City Manager.
Agreed.
Item number 1.2, public participation process for draft eThekwini Municipality Way Leave and Excavation Bylaw of 2022. Committee recommends.
Thank you. Page 17, item 1.2. Councillor Pillay, you are the first speaker. Councillor Gavenda, Councillor N. Kumete, then the last speaker is Councillor S. Mpanza. In that order, Councillor Pillay.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. The DLC welcomes this bylaw that will bring about greater consideration, accountability, and monitoring of all excavation work done on municipal verges and property by unknown contractors. Our citizens of recent, Mr. Speaker, have been bombarded and frustrated when different fiber contractors, without any consultation and consideration towards the properties of our residents and verges, have dug up and damaged their property. Sometimes their water and electricity infrastructure was damaged and people had to go without water and electricity for days. This bylaw, Mr. Speaker, will restore power back to the people as a major stakeholder and reduce arrogant contractors to submit to the call of the residents. Mr. Speaker, the DLC call on all stakeholders to make representations on this very important bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Kavenda.
Thank you, Chair. Good day to all. Let me start by congratulating the DA caucus for actually paving the way and the road to the realization of this important bylaw. The facts of the matter item coming before this council today is as a result of a massive push by our councillors in their interactions with the roads, stormwater, electricity and water units, who are also reeling from the aftermath of the fiber excavation that took place in the city. I want to remind attendees of the sitting that in June 2021, our former caucus leader, Nicole Graham, filed a motion citing that fiber contractors had created huge problems in the city during the installation of their infrastructure. And I also want to remind you that the ANC, who held the majority back then, voted against it. The problems only got worse before they got better. These fiber contractors have wreaked havoc with municipal infrastructure and private properties as well. At the time, some of them were even chased out of neighborhoods because of the destruction and outages that they had caused in electricity and water. Equally enraged were our operations teams for water and electricity, who were often not consulted prior to excavation, nor when the damage was done. These contractors were actually using thread tape and bottles to fix some of the nicks they caused with water. And in other instances, they were merely just covering up their digs with sand and not reporting the fault. There was, of course, a lot of frustration and meetings with officials impressing upon them to legally tie these contractors up so that we could achieve accountability, enforcement, and recover damages where necessary. Clearly on the back foot, as they were empowered by the Telecommunications Act, which is national, to lay infrastructure, and we had no bylaw. Now, we must note that this is not a fiber bylaw exclusively. It is a wayleave and excavation bylaw, which is very important to distinguish between. Fiber is only one part of the intended and expected sector that excavates in the city, and we will have in years to come, including our own units within the city, excavations. We are obviously happy with the spirit and intention that this policy was drafted, taken into consideration all the concerns raised, particularly by DA councillors. I expect that maybe a point of order will be raised, but the fact remains that officials will tell you that the progressive communications came from the DA councillors. So we support this item. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Kumete.
Thank you, Speaker. As the IFP, ngicabanga ukuthi siyahambisana kakhulu ne-item and siyayithokozela because sibonile ukufika kwayo ukuthi ike yaba nokuhlukumeza kakhulu kumphakathi wethu, ikakhulukazi in terms of water and electricity, and i-accountability nje ibingekho. And sibukile ukuthi there was even a part of cheap labor whereby abantu who were employed to do this, not ngoba sizama ukubazele for because something, but kwakungabona even abantu bakwi-local area. It was giving us some challenges. Some of them, they were even stopped even to take up in front of amayards abanye abantu. So we really appreciate ukuthi le bylaw iphasiswe and ibe khona ikwazi ukuthi izo-assista ngendlela. In the future, we so hope ngempela izinto ey'kanje futhi zingadluliswa nasemphakathini uma zizokwenzeka, kungaveli nje qhamuka ibhomu lento sekubonakala ngabantu begumba imigodi kungaziwa ukuthi benzani. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kumete. Councillor Mpanza.
How's the lights vouchers? Lights, kilowatts. Do they have lights? Kilowatts? Yeah, 20.
Councillor Pillay, please mute your mic. Thank you. Councillor Mpanza, raise your hand. We'll unmute you this side. Councillor Mpanza. Right, councillors, it looked like we have a difficulty in getting hold of Councillor Mpanza. Is the recommendation agreed, councillors?
President Alice Mpanza, agreed.
Agreed. Thank you.
Agreed.
City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. Item number 1.3, public participation process for draft eThekwini Municipality Roads Policy for year 2022. Committee recommends.
1.3, Councillor Maldala, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to get guidance from you on the meeting procedure, seeing that our meeting is on a virtual platform. Ordinarily, if our meeting was physically, would have ascertained whether Councillor Mpanza is present or not present in the meeting. Now, he was present when the meeting started. I don't know after the connection and reconnection if he was cut off. And he had a mandate to speak on behalf of the ANC caucus. Now that he's not available due to maybe technical problems or otherwise, wouldn't it be correct that the ANC caucus is given an opportunity to speak on its own behalf, maybe through another councillor or something. It's just guidance, Honorable Speaker, because Councillor Mpanza, like any other councillor, does not speak on his own behalf. It speaks on behalf of the ANC. And now on the past item, the voice of the ANC was not heard. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Madlala. In terms of the order and proceeding of the House, all speakers who intend to speak on item, they submit their names in advance. But in a case where the speaker who's in my list happen not to be available for whatever reasons, that is why before we decide to move, we give time to request, call, unmute, request a councillor to raise hands. But if it's not available, we won't be able to give a party to speak because the party have submitted one name for that person, no other name has been submitted. You therefore forfeit your right as an ANC to speak on the item because the speaker who have been submitted is not available. Thank you, Councillor Madlala. Councillor Kuala, your hand is up.
No, bekuyi order somlomo kuKhansela uMadlala ukuthi ilo visual lo esosebenzisa ngisho singasasekho isidingo.
Siyabonga,
Kodwa
siyabonga,
akulungile.
siyabonga,
Kakhulu.
Babu Kuala. Yeah. The item has been approved, councillors. City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. Item number 1.4, proposed alienation of Evan 3186 and 3189 of Isipingo, extension 22, plan number SJ4502/5. Committee recommends.
Yeah, councillors, 1.4, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. Item number 1.5, reallocation of funds for tools and equipment in the electricity unit. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Councillor S.P. Ngongo. Councillor Ngongo, 1.5, page 20. Councillors, page 20, we had one speaker, unfortunately, is not responding. Let me try again with my team. Councillor Ngongo, please raise your hand so that we assist you by unmuting your mic this side and unmute yourself this side and address council. Yes, Councillor Ngongo.
Honorable Speaker, greetings to all. Honorable Speaker, the item is very important. As the ANC, we think there is no item that has to do with electricity now that needs not to be supported. If you understand now, we're in a very serious situation of load shedding. It's imperative that all measures that will hinder the process of addressing the issue of load shedding must be dealt with and must be attended to. As the INC, we support the item. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Ngongo. Councillors, is the item on 1.5, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very much.
Item number 1.6, capital budget adjustment to allow for emergency flood damages, repair work and contractual commitments, 2022-2023. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. Item 1.6, page 21, Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager. Sorry, Councillor Anipen, your hand is up. Anipen?
Sorry, Chair, not for this item 1.7. Apologies, Chair.
Okay, thank you, City Manager.
Oh, 1.7. 1.7, oh, okay.
Item number 1.7, request for authority to transfer funds to project X8552, contract number WQ64-11824, Mount View Reservoir, Trans Park 3, Reservoir Pump System Rehabilitation. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager, Councillor Anipen, Mike Person, Councillor Kavenda, Councillor Anipen, Councillor Sisoga, in that order. Mike Person. Please, councillors, once you are recognized, raise your hand. We'll unmute you this side. You will then unmute yourself and address council. Mark Pearson, we have been unmuted.
Hey, good. Yeah. No, the system's working. Yeah. The system is working. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Let me just start off by saying this particular item, what I talk to will raise, the dots will be joined in many of the items to follow. So for those that are tuned in, particularly the media and, just ordinary citizens that have experienced the failing of our infrastructure, there's some relevance in this. This is like robbing Peter.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order, Councillor Reddy.
I hope it's a relevant point of order.
Councillor Mike Pearson, if there's a point of order, you allow the point of order to be raised. You don't respond to the person raising a point of order. Please, Councillor Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The rules of order states that when councillors address this meeting, they address the speaker, not the media and not the followers or people watching on Facebook. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The previous speaker mentioned is addressing the media here at this council meeting.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reddy. Your order is sustained. Mr. Councillor McPherson, please, if you address council, you address through the speaker of council. Please confine yourself to that. Proceed.
That's why I was hoping that his point of order was going to be relevant, and again, it's irrelevant.
Mr. Speaker, there is another point of order. He's raising. No. You ruled on the matter, and he still wants to persist in defying your ruling.
Councillor Reddy, Councillor McPherson, please conduct yourself in a manner that is expected from all councillors. Stop what you're doing. Focus on your point. Councillor McPherson, otherwise I'm going to forfeit you a right to speak. Focus on the point you want to raise. Councillor McPherson?
If I'm allowed to, I will. So thank you again for this opportunity and all that are listening. This is like robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's just as simple as that. All we're doing is taking money away from one critical infrastructure project to repair. And if you have a look at the article or the item in front of you, it uses words like rehabilitation, upgrade, infrastructure repairs, technicalities, and delay of equipment. Now, the money that will be taken away from another project to do this project should never have got into this state of where it needs rehabilitation or upgrading or infrastructure repairs in the first place. We're going to face this same bridge in months to come. So, we're in a situation now where we're requiring this money to breathe life into our crumbling, sometimes sabotaged, but for sure poorly maintained critical infrastructure that is now the talk of South Africa. And I believe DSTV are flighting something on Sunday about our infrastructure, so something to be watched. But the reality is, Speaker, We should not have got to this point. And the vision of this city being the most livable in 2030 is fast becoming a dream. By taking this money from this critical infrastructure, particularly when it's related to water and sanitation and others that are going to come up, electricity, means we're going to now have to rob another person to pay Peter, because Peter was robbed to pay Paul in this instance. Had this, and here's the critical point, had this ANC-led administration taken the DA seriously and had the political will to partially collect some of the 20 billion uncollected debt, then this metro, its citizens and the hard-pressed ratepayers would not have to face the current crisis we're in. And that's what we're addressing in this item. We're facing and addressing a crisis in our infrastructure. Collected debt would have
Point of
seen
order, Mr.
plenty of
Speaker.
money.
Point of
There's
order.
a surprise.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, the rules is very clear that council cannot be misled. The honorable councillor is misleading this council when he says robbing Peter to pay Paul. I advise him to read the recommendation very clearly. It says that the monies are found from savings. Now, if he interrogates the budgeting in this department, you would find that as a result of COVID and all the other interruptions, many of the projects could not be undertaken. As a result, savings were identified. If those projects, if that money is not used, we run the risk of getting an AG report that will be adverse. So my appeal to him is to understand how budgeting works, and I appeal that the CFO gives him a cause in how budgeting works in this city. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Councillor Reddy. Councillor McPherson, please proceed.
I'm getting confused who's running the meeting, but for the sake of good order, because I respect you, Speaker, I'm going to look to you as running this meeting and not Vispan Reddy. The point that I was trying to make is that we are talking about rehabilitation, upgrading infrastructure. And if anybody needs a lesson in economics, it's Mr. Vispan Reddy. Because had we collected the debt, we wouldn't be talking about rehabilitation, upgrade, and infrastructure
Point of order,
repairs.
Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Let me address both of you, Councillor Reddy and Councillor McPherson. It is your right to raise a point of order, and Councillor McPherson, it is your right to speak, as I've given you an opportunity to address council. But both of you, you are now taking time of council by continuously exchanging words between two of you that cause delay in council. I just want to make an appeal that please, both of you, avoid that, to exchange words, to call names. If there are issues, if there are issues, they must be raised constructively with respect through myself. Don't address one another, councillors. Please, I appeal. This thing of mentioning one another's name is wrong. You are delaying council.
Mr. Speaker, for the record, I have not mentioned the other councillor's name. I have used the processes allowed to me in the council by raising a point of order, and my points were valid. Now, if this councillor persists in making this a personal issue, constantly referring to me, then he needs to be ruled out of order. He needs to focus on the item, and I did refer to the fact that the item says very clearly that reprioritizing the savings identified to beef up the costs. It's savings that have been identified that has to be reprioritized. Now, is the councillor saying to us that he knows something else that's not contained in this report that we don't know? In which case, then this report needs to go back because it's not correctly reflected here.
Thank you, Councillor Red. It is true that that is what is reflected in the report, is savings. But I'm sure the Councillor McPherson have seen what is contained in the report, and we are correct, Councillor Reddy. Councillor McPherson, please conclude your point.
But thank you. Of course, I've seen what's in the report. The relevance here, if I'm not interjected again, if you have a look what's contained in the report, where it talks about rehabilitation, upgrade, and infrastructure repairs, wouldn't have got to the stage if we'd have had an attempt in collected, uncollected debt, use that money to pump into our critical infrastructure. That's the relevance here. and many of the other projects that we're going to talk about, taking money from one project to another, in whatever disguise or form it might be. It's the uncollected debt that's got us into this hole, and we're having to scratch around, moving money around as we are. So, even when the taps are turned on and no one knows, nobody knows whether the water is safe to drink when the taps are turned on. And despite the previous councillor calling me to order, one thing is for sure, Speaker, as the Democratic Alliance, we're not going to stop talking about the 20 billion rand uncollected
You see,
debt
Councillor McPherson.
for infrastructure.
Councillor
Order, Mr.
McPherson.
Speaker. Point of order,
Councillor
Mr. Speaker.
No, listen.
I've
This.
finished.
No.
Thank you.
Listen,
I've finished.
Councillor McPherson. I'm beginning now to see that you have an intention to deliberately disrupt council because you don't want to behave. And because of that, I'm now stopping you to address council. We are losing your minutes because of your behavior, because you keep on making sure that council is distracted. I advise you and warn you not to refer to other colleagues. Address the speaker, but you don't want to listen. You therefore forfeit your right to speak on this item. Thank you. Councillor Cavender. Councillor Cavender.
Thanks, Chair. I'm a bit taken aback that you are ordering a councillor to forfeit their right to speak. When the councillor was speaking to
Councillor
the
Councillor Cavender, you are not a spokesperson here of any councillor. Speak for yourself as you appear in the agenda. Speak, address council as the name appear here. Don't speak on behalf of another councillor. Proceed.
Well, Speaker, I'm not speaking on behalf of him. I'm reflecting my opinion on this. But
You never submitted your name to express your opinion. You submitted your name to speak on the item. Speak on the item, please.
Yeah, Speaker, I think some of us are confused here, but speaking on
You
the
are
item,
only one who is confused.
may I proceed, Speaker?
Proceed, yes.
Yeah, speaking on the item, you are the speaker is drawing inferences in this matter. Now, we are talking about Mount View and TP3, which are critical infrastructure in the city. We are talking about Grange and Intezuma Reservoir 3, which is in absolute dire straits. They're hanging by shreds. It is very, very disappointing to see the musical chairs in this council where we're trying to reprioritize budget, especially in the hardest hit units. There is a trend in the city for especially the ruling party to show that something is happening, but the reality is that we are taking from, and I want to refer to the minutes here or the agenda where it says that the DA represented that money was taken from critical projects to non-critical. That's not what we said. We were saying that you are taking money from critical projects which are going to other critical projects. Now, what are we really doing here? And I think the point that the previous speaker was trying to make is that we didn't need to reach this stage where we are trying to take from one where we are prejudicing hundreds and thousands of people and then putting it into another where we appreciate and we acknowledge that people are going to benefit on the other hand. But it is not good business practice. It is not how you run a city. And the analogy of borrowing from Paul to pay Peter, it's an analogy. It's a manner of speaking. And it is very disconcerting.
Order, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Kazareti.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say this as calmly as possible. I'm reading the item. I'm reading the agenda. And I'm hoping that all of us would have read the agenda. I certainly do not want us to use this as an opportunity to start politicking now. It says very clearly that the monies have been identified in savings from projects that could not have been completed. Now, this happens all the time. Now, these previous speakers constantly speak of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now, then it tells me that they know something that we as councillors here don't know about, which is not on this report. So are they saying that this report is not a correct reflection of the truth? Maybe the chair of the committee needs to tell us, confirm whether this is in fact savings from projects that have not been completed. or whether it is monies that are being taken away from projects and stopping those critical projects and then diverting it elsewhere.
Speaker.
So this
Yeah,
is thank you, Council.
Thank you, Councillor
Speaker.
Reddy.
Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Reddy. It is true that using that phrase, Peter to pay whoever, is a common phrase that is used when people are having conversation of discussion. Now let's allow Councillor Cavender to conclude his point. I don't see any problem by using those phrases. Therefore, your point of order is overruled. Councillor Cavender, proceed.
Mr. Speaker.
A point of clarity, Mr. Speaker.
Who's that?
Councillor
Shahid.
Councillors Mchetwa, is a point of order.
Point of clarity, Mr. Speaker.
No. I'm talking to Councillor Mchetwa. Mchetwa is a point of order.
That's correct.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we are trying as much as possible to make sure that this council runs smoothly. Unless Councillor Vincent Reddy is on your speaker's list, he cannot.
No. Councillor Mchetwa is out of order. No. I've already ruled on the matter. I don't have a deputy speaker here. I'm alone as a speaker of council. Mchetwa, no. Listen, Mchetwa. Councillor Cavender was on the floor. Councillor Reddy raised a point of order. I have overruled in that point of order, and I said the order is overruled. Then it means Councillor Cavender. No. Listen, Babu Mchetwa. It means Councillor Cavender must conclude his point. You can't raise a point of order on an order that already has been decided. Councillor Cavender, proceed, please.
Rein him in so that we are able to.
Babu Mchetwa, please be quiet. Keep quiet, Babu Mchetwa. Councillor Cavender, proceed with your point. Councillor Cavender.
Balekile, Speaker.
To find Peter and Paul.
Councillor Cavender. Please check in the system, Pelinda, whether it's still there.
Ngathi sakokhasa.
Maybe she's going to meet.
Councillor Cavender, please unmute yourself and conclude your point. You still have time.
Chair, thanks. Sorry, I'm having a glitch with my system. I was actually talking. But let me go back. Speaker, the point that we're trying to make in this item is that it is very disconcerting to be asked to approve money for a project that we know we need it. It's been long. We've been crying for that money. But we're taking it from a project that is just as bad, just as critical, and just as serious. We are loath to vote against an item of this nature. But how do we consciously vote for depriving another project, depriving another sector of the community who have suffered and have been voicing public outrage of the sufferings that they endure because the infrastructure is not rehabilitated as they should be? Now, if you look at the item, it does say that the project has not been cancelled. So how is the money being taken from this? The project is still on the table. I know that the pumps were in transit from Joburg. So where we're sitting now is to say, let's give millions. If you look at our overall budget, there are items that are coming to this council later in the day. Millions for tent hire, artists, sound, gifts, and one-day programs. While here we have in this item, constitutional rights are going to continually be infringed. If we indeed had any political will to fix the city properly, we would change the way we do business. Now we're bringing King Solomon. This is another cliche. I hope it doesn't bring another point of order. It's another figure of speech. This is a King Solomon and the baby type of item that is being brought to us. We need to stop this and stop the wasteful and irregular expenditure and put the money to feed the needs of the taxpayers. Thanks, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Cavender. Councillor Andipen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that residents in eThekwini are yet reeling from the devastations of the recent floods. These have been exacerbated by poor administrative direction, political interference, and perhaps even the lack of leadership. Residents on the north end of eThekwini have suffered immensely for several months, having no water, limited tanker services, and many other challenges. Only last week in Ottawa and Terence Park, residents carried out violent protest actions after not having water supply for almost 4 days. This recommendation will provide some kind of relief to these residents. This being said, we must not shy away from the fact that eThekwini is in a state of constant crisis. Ratepayers on every corner in the city are being given a raw deal. eThekwini water requires a complete and urgent overhaul, while some senior managers and the head himself are seen trying to do their best. Officials and operational managers are slacking a great deal. The IFP notes that the inspections carried out by the Honorable Deputy Mayor at water pump stations and water treatment works plants and supports this initiative wholeheartedly. While we may not necessarily agree with the process of taking money from one project to another to meet the requirement, we do understand that residents deserve better. And reluctantly as it may be, the IFP will support these recommendations. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Anderpen. Councillor Swaga. Councillor Swaga, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. First, Speaker, let me just say this. I honestly wish that the DA would not be selective when it comes to the work of the council and giving service to the people of eThekwini. When it's time to adopt the budgets, they are unaccounted for. They are nowhere to be seen, and they are voiceless.
Point of order, Speaker.
There's a point of order, Councillor Swaga, Bawumthetho.
I thought you said earlier that councillors are not allowed to address each other. So Councillor Swaga must not address the PA, must speak to the item, as per your ruling earlier.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mthetho, but it's not what I've said. Earlier, I was ruling on the issue where people were calling each other's names. I was not referring to the names of political parties. That is why Councillor Cavender, when he was speaking, he keep on mentioning the ruling party, but I never stopped him. But I stopped Councillor Reddy. No, Mthetho, ufuna ukulalela. Uma ngikhuluma listen ngoba nawe ngiyakulalela. Angathi ngikhuluma ubusungena emadevini. Otherwise ufuna ngithule uqhubeke le meeting we-run.
Sorry, Speaker, Kubeka.
Yeah, bengichaza ukuthi ke bengikhuluma ngabantu ababizana ngamagama ngesikhathi bedebate. I was not referring to political parties. Councillor Swaga, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, it seems the challenges of the DA are many. Not only do they lose their voices,
Councillor Swaga, please, Swaga, can you please stick to the point you are about to address?
Thank you, Speaker.
Yeah, to save time.
What I was
Thank you.
saying is that whenever it's time for them to speak on the budgets, they seem to be finding their voices again. But be that as it may, I think it's quite imperative that when we are given items on the agenda, we stick to the point of the agenda and we read what is written on the agenda. Let me refer to the last sentence on this item, where it specifically and clearly states the committee was informed that the budget transfer was informed by the technicalities relating to delays in the delivery of the equipment required for the upgrade. Now, I'm not too sure, going back to the very same story of King Solomon, if what councillors are now saying that instead of taking this money and using it to the very critical issue of water pipes, we must just keep the money in the coffers rather than using the money. So now the story of the King Solomon and the baby, now the baby must die because the money must not be utilized. It's quite challenging. The money is there. Let's not keep the money. Let's rather use the money because there is an urgent need on the ground for us to provide water to the people of eThekwini. As the African National Congress, we feel that it is imperative that we use this money. So we therefore submit and agree that the money must be used so that the pumps are working and subsequently people are provided with the basic need of water as required by the council. So that is our submission. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Soga. Councillors, page 22, item 1.7. Is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very much, City Manager.
Item number 1.8, a request for authority to transfer funds from projects Y8767D and Y8944 to project X8019. Committee recommends.
City Manager, councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Speaker,
Agreed.
Thank you.
Speaker,
Yes.
page 22, item 1.7. We've got a speaker for IFP, Councillor Jonathan Anipen.
Page 22.
Yes, 1.7.
He had already spoken.
I've already gave him a chance to speak. Yeah, you have spoken, Councillor. Yeah. City Manager.
Item number 1.9, approval of block sum reallocation within water capital budget. Committee recommends.
1.9, councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City
Agreed.
Manager.
1.10, request for authority to transfer funds to various critical wastewater projects. Committee recommends.
26, 1.10, Councillor Chazela and Councillor Kasa. Councillor Chazela, please raise your hand. They will unmute you this side.
Her hand is up, Mr. Speaker.
Have you is now unmuted?
Ngiyathokoza, Speaker.
Yes, yeah, thank you. You can speak, Councillor.
Wastewater treatment is an essential aspect of masipala operations, especially in aiming to protect the health of various people. Good wastewater treatment it maximizes the reusing of water for sustainability and nature preservation and health. Since it's a summertime, Durban is a very popular city and has a many tourists who visit it for purpose of swimming. So wastewater treatment will help us a lot in a swimming pool to have water, also benefiting in a resident of Durban. So as a IFP speaker, we very support this item.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chazela. Councillor Kasa. Councillor Kasa, unmute yourself. Councillor Kasa.
Am I audible, Speaker?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay. As the ANC, we are very much in support of the item. As the council will know that part of this program seeks to install relays where there are frequent water bursts and also minimize water leaks. So as the ANC, we fully support the item. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kasa. City Manager, next item.
Item number 1.11, request for authority to transfer funds within the water and sanitation capital budget in 2022-2023 financial year. Committee recommends.
Thank you, City Manager. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item number 1.12, request for budget reallocation for the construction of Umlomo and Sigodo roads in Duzuma, Ward 38. Committee recommends.
We are now in page 28, 1.12. Is the recommendation agreed, councillors?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item number 1.13, reallocation of funds across capital projects in the electricity unit. Committee recommends.
1.18, councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed. Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
1.14, request for budget reprioritization in the human settlements unit for the 2022-2023 financial year. Committee recommends.
1.14, councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item number 1.15, closure of road reserve over a portion of the remainder of F1258 Kwamashu E, remainder of F1628 Kwamashu F. Committee recommends.
1.15, councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Item number 1.16, proposed lease on remainder of F301 Springfield adjoining 121 Intersite Avenue, Springfield for parking purposes as depicted on SJ plan number 4780/1. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Siyabonga.
We now move to the second report, which is the report of the Economic Development and Planning Committee for their meeting, which was held on the 8th of the 9th, 2022. Item number 2.1, request for approval of a eThekwini informal economy policy. Committee recommends.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Pega and Councillor Ready. I know that we have received an email of a minute donated by the NFP, HCM, and PRM to the ATEC Councillor Ready. Then we're going to have Councillor B. Lovu in our list. Councillor Pega.
Councillor Kulman.
Councillor Pega. Page 36, 2.1. Please raise your hand. Sukwazi ukuvula imic ngapha ukwazi ukukhuluma. Councillor Pega. Yes, you can address council.
Much Speaker, greeting to the colleagues, Your Worship, the Mayor, and the officials. Speaker, thank you so much. Firstly, I would like to to the officials nethimba lonke elisebenzile to put together this informal economy policy. We all know ukuthi ithatha isikhathi eside kangakanani from 2016 when it was last reviewed So we believe ukuthi after they've done this incredible work, ama-job opportunities nezinto zamabhizinisi to assist, especially to improve the informal workers' livelihood, kuzosiza kakhulu speaker. Nokuthi okunye speaker sibonge nje ukuthi kuze kube manje there's a growth, especially in our economic growth. The policy will assist us kakhulu. That's why Action SA is supporting this item. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bega. Councillor Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I address you on behalf of the strategic bloc of smaller parties led by Councillor Zandile Mieni. We wish to state that we support the recommendation that comes from the Economic Committee to establish an informal economic policy here in eThekwini. The municipality must be congratulated for its decision to take informal traders seriously and see them as partners in the local economic development of the city. It is in the interest of the municipality that informal traders are organized and that they are effective. Informal traders, they must also remember that they do not just have rights, they also have responsibilities, and they too need to fulfill these. Informal traders must respect the bylaws, regulations, and other rules and norms of the municipality. It's for this reason that we are proposing to the mayor that an embizo of some sorts of all informal traders in the city be held so that they too may become familiar with this policy. Let me end by saying that the informal sector is, of course, a significant part of our economy and contributes between 8 and 12% of the GDP. It is an important social safety net for poor people. Our unemployment levels, as we all know, are just too high. The state and the private sector will simply not be able to provide the necessary jobs. So the growth of the informal sector is critical to our overall economic growth and job creation targets in our city. So it is imperative that we all play a role in ensuring that this policy becomes relevant and actionable within our city. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Reddy. Councillor Ndlovu. Councillor P. Ndlovu.
Hand is up, Speaker.
To unmute him this side.
Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as an African National Congress, we value the significance by the informal economic sector towards the economy of the city, as well as the economy of the country as a whole. On the same breath, we are mindful that we need to strike the balance between the informal economic sector, the social economic sector, as well as the formal economic sector. And to strike the balance, then, we need to review our policies from time to time. Mr. Speaker, I must say that the consultation have been made through the relevant stakeholders. They've made their input, and in our last meeting in the MIF, MIF is a Ethekwini Municipality Informal Economic Forum. The presentation was done in terms of the in terms of what was in terms of the input by the relevant stakeholders, by the relevant sector. Speaker, it is safe to say that in our last MIF meeting, the traders themselves, they confirmed that they were given fair chance to contribute to the policy. and they committed to take the lead and to take control in terms of some of the gaps that have been identified from their side. Issues such as the cleanliness of the city, issues such as safety around the proximity of where they are trading. Mangisho ke somlomo ukuthi when we review policies, as I've mentioned that we are mindful ukuthi we need to strike the balance. Akuwona ukuthi ngoba bepanishwa, but kusuke ku-identify ama-gaps angalekelela i-administration yomkhandlu ukuthi kusebenzeke kahle nayo le sector, nokuthi accommodate-ke kwi-economy yonke as a whole ne-inclusivity, not ukuthi basuke be-targethwa noma basuke bemakiwe maku-improve ama-policies lawo. So kwi-forum yama-traders, ama-councillors esihlala nawo kuyona can attest to that. Ama-traders uqobo layo they are happy ngale policy le. So nami ngikusho nje ngesibindi esikhulu, ngikusho ngokuzethemba ukuthi siyi-African National Congress siyayiseka le recommendation. Ngiyabonga Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Busi. Councillors, page 36, item 2.1. Is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Siyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Item number 2.2, Memorandum of Understanding between the Durban Film Office and the following stakeholders: Film Publication Board, Companies Intellectual Property Commission, and the University of KwaZulu-Natal Center for Creative Arts. Committee recommends.
Very much. Item 2.2.37, Councillor Pega and Councillor Makachini.
Thank you so much, Speaker. This item, Speaker, we, as Action SA, we did our research, especially with Cape Town, which we have noticed that in the film industry, they're one of the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. As a result, major films and international advertising campaigns are regularly filmed in location throughout the city. So in that set, Speaker, the memorandum of understanding with the following, with the film industry stakeholders will play a very critical role for our city, as we know that Cape Town will make a lot of money in this film industry. So for eThekwini as well, it will be unfair if we are not supporting this item, because it will promote eThekwini as an attractive film destination and make a lot of recognition in the world. So as Action SA, we support this item. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pega. Councillor Makachini. Baba Makachini, sicela uphakamisa isandla ukuze sikubone ngapha sikwazi ukuvulela i-microphone. Then uzosuyevula nawe at the side ukwazi ukukhuluma. Usungakhuluma. Councillor, you have been unmuted. This side, please, you can speak now.
Am I audible now, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Councillor Makachini, you are.
Thanks a million. Greetings to you and greetings to Ubabu Mayor and all members of the council. When people say that Rome was not built in one day, we should be saying that Hollywood was not built in one day either. Film and the television industry has in its entirety developed and evolved because of dreams. We as the eThekwini municipality must encourage our creative arts to dream and dream big. We must also realize that the industry is not only about making film and television stars, but it's also about the industry's value chain as well. This is where the biggest potential in terms of employment opportunities lie in this space. We are hoping that by getting authority to enter into this memorandum of understanding, the development programs of the Durban Film Office will expand and cover many facets of the local industry, and the industry will benefit immensely as the community and all role players will have access to more coordinated approach in the development of the film and television industry. In future, we hope that this growth of the film and television industry will help grow the economy of our city, and we therefore support the recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, councillors. Is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item number 2.3, request for approval of funding support for the eThekwini Filmmakers Association committee recommends.
Now in page 38, item 2.3, Councillor Mnigati. Ngicela uphakamisa isandla ukuze sikubone sivule imicrophone yakho ngapha uzokwazi ke ukukhuluma kahle. Councillor Mnigati. Councillor Mnigati. Sicela uphakamisa isandla sikubone kahle asikuvulele imicrophone ukuze ukwazi ukukhuluma. Councillors, it looks like there's a problem to connect with Councillor Mnigati. I don't want him to blame us of not giving him a chance. Councillor Mnigati, let me ask you for the last time, please raise your hand. If you are still part of the meeting, we'll unmute you so that you can address council. Councillors, it looks like there's a problem with councillors, we have just received a message from Councillor Mnigati that he's having some problem with power where he's connected. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, asakwazi ukuzwa izinto bezikhuluma. Councillors, page 23, Now, page 38, item 2.3, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We now are moving to the report of the Community Services Committee, which is the report from their meeting, which was held on the 12th of the 9th, 2022, item 3.1, request for approval to enter into a memorandum of agreement with Life Nursing College for clinical placement of nursing students. Committee recommends.
Siyabonga kakhulu mphathi dolobha. Umuntu ozokhuluma la ukhansela uNkomeni nokhansela uZamasokhabase. Khansela uNkomeni.
Honorable Speaker, His Worship the Mayor, fellow colleagues, I greet you all. As the ATM and the bloc of smaller parties, we fully support this initiative as it seeks to improve the lives of our people in eThekwini, and good health and health in general is always
Speaker, point of order, Speaker.
Is a point of order?
Thank you. I just want to know why is the councillor speaking on behalf of the bloc of smaller parties? From our side of smaller parties, it was not, we didn't appoint anybody as a spokesperson. So please just note that. Thank you.
Thank you. Your point of order is overruled. Council can't respond on behalf of parties. I can't confirm whether he speak on behalf of parties or not, because I have no mechanism to check that, but I don't want to entertain that. But my interest is to hear the submission from the council. But in terms of whether he's speaking the truth or not, council can't respond on that. Councillor
Thank you.
Komeni.
Noted and accepted. Thank you.
Councillor Komeni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before I was disturbed, the lives of our people must always be taken serious, as this is a good initiative. We wish this item to be actioned as quickly as possible, as this will help improve service standards of our public institutions at large. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Komeni. Councillor Zamasokhabase.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. The ANC would like to applaud this initiative as it will assist most of our communities in different clinics. We wish to extend our gratitude to the Life Nursing College for what he did for our city. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Yebo, agreed.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I allow City Manager to read the next item, let me explain a few things. At the end of the agenda of the main council agenda, we are going to take a break before we deal with the two supplementary agenda. And I've also received an indication that councillors were supposed to respond to the last question in the section 27 questions. Those councillors are now ready to provide those answers. Then we'll do that after the break. But once we're done with the agenda we're dealing with now, we are going to take a break. Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Item 3.2, request for approval. Implementation of programs for the Durban Art Gallery and Ink Creative Center for the financial years 2022-2023, 2023-2024, and 2024-2025. Committee recommends.
Yeah. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. City Manager.
Item 3.3, request for approval for the implementation of Masakane Outreach Program for the 2022-2023 financial year. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Chief Manager. We are on page 45, item 3.3, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Singh, Councillor Shange, B, and Councillor Pewa. Councillor Mackenzie? Mackenzie, you are now unmuted this side.
Thank you, Speaker. Over the past few years, this program has been implemented to promote creation of public platforms to inform, educate, involve, consult, collaborate, and empower communities in decision-making process in local government matters. The Masikana program involves different units to institute better service delivery. Chapter 7, Section 152 of the Constitution provides for municipality to create an environment for public participation. The Masikana is a good program, however, not the implementation process of the program, as it is questionable because public participation does not mean only for the selected few, but to encourage direct involvement of all communities, irrespective of race, color, or culture. At Community Service Committee level, this program was discussed at great length and concerns were raised. As the DA, we supported this program at committee on the basis of planning and implementation should be discussed with the ward councillor in advance so that they are included and a part of the program. All communities must be presented. Where community halls are available, these facilities should be considered first preference as measures to reduce costs. Concerns of exorbitant costs per items must be assessed. It is disappointing to note that some of the above decisions that were taken in committee are not being followed in certain wards. This is a mockery and an insult to our committee in trusting. When we do not follow suit, we need to practice what we preach. By not involving the ward councillor, this limits public participation. By consulting with the councillor, this approach moves to improve the numbers in attendance and assists with the alignment of the work of a ward councillor together with the department units by not only improving service delivery, but by creating a relationship between councillor, department, units, and communities. It is imperative that this program be implemented in a fair and just manner. My question would be, are we using this program as a tick box exercise, not reaching out to the affected, or is this another tender opportunity by making money off events, programs, when this could be utilized for many other necessary service delivery issues? This program is funded by the ratepayers of the city. As the DA, we will raise concerns when such good programs are used to score political points and not for the intended purpose of the presentations that were presented to us. We will monitor this program closely because it is good on paper, but implementation is difficult for the selected few. We must never resort to using public funds to score political points or fame. We should never and always avoid contributing towards adding to negative stigma, and this should not be condoned. It is therefore the reason that the DA will not be supporting this item. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie. Councillor Singh. Councillor Singh, please raise your hand and unmute yourself because it looked like you've been unmuted this side. Raise your hand, please. Councillor Singh, please unmute yourself and address Council.
Mr. Speaker, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, community participation and action support shows blatant disrespect in the manner in which they operate. I would like to highlight the event that took place on the 17th of September for wards in Phoenix. How was the Masakane outreach program communicated? Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, there was no communications with councillors, ward committee members, stakeholders, and to the community, which shows that this was just another tick box exercise whereby the only winners were the service providers. I'm sure that the attendance was dismal due to no communication. The item states on paragraph 2, to reduce costs, municipality-owned venues will be utilized. Yet, with a number of halls in Phoenix, a tent was erected. Why is this so? How is this contributing to reducing costs? This is just another case of wasteful expenditure. In the first paragraph, the last sentence states, it was noted that transport will be provided for community members. Where were the buses for the community of Phoenix? Did service providers for transport get paid, yet there was no services provided? This needs to be investigated, Mr. Speaker. This is unacceptable and an unjust and a disadvantage to the community of Phoenix. It is with these concerns that the DA is against this item, like my colleague stated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Shange. Raise your hand. Sikubone sivule microphone yakho. Umsivuliwe uzokwazi ukukhuluma.
Order, Honorable Speaker.
There is order.
Yes, I was wondering, Honorable Speaker, if councillors can show their faces, because we like to see them through their eyes when they talk here, whether they mean it or it's just that they are obliged to say something here. Thank you.
I hope we are going to rule. He's out of order.
The mayor is out of order.
Yeah, big time.
Not big time. Yes, Councillor Singh. Shange, sorry.
Yabonga Somlomo. With regard to Masakane program outreach, we as IFP feels it's a good initiative. Kodwa ke Somlomo, bekomela siyibuza ukuthi kungani abantu bengakhokhi bebulala nezakhiwo zamasipala. Thina ke njengo IFP siyazi ukuthi kungani abantu bekwenza konke lokho kungenxa yokuthi umasipala awubasizi abantu ngendlela efanelekile. Asikho ke isidingo sokufundisa abantu ngakho konke lokhu osekubaluliwe. We have to meet municipality standard in terms of service delivery. As IFP, we are against. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Shange. Councillor Pewa.
Ngiyazwala Speaker.
Uzwala kahle kakhulu.
Ngiyabonga Speaker. Ngifuna ukuqala labo zakwethu be-DA Speaker. Uma bekhala ngokuthi imihlangano mhlambe ayibize ngendlela. One uzobiza kanjani vele umhlangano ufuna ukubiza ku WhatsApp because thina njengamakhansela asemawadini committee participation ubiza imihlangano. So ingakho ke bona bezoxeka ngoba vele imihlangano abayibizi. Bakhuluma nje WhatsApp phele kanjalo. So amaniti kawazi ukwakha bonke ku WhatsApp dinga ukuthi abantu babone phinde visit futhi ground on the ground. So bese ngiya ekuthenini ke cishe savumelana ne-IFP iqinisile mangabe i-IFP ithi lolu hlelo liyasiza kakhulu ngokukhuluma ngento ye-service delivery. injongo enkulu vele kaMasakane is just to go down to take ama-issues from abantu bakithi abaxakekile ba-raise in front of officials ekhona rather than lokhu report as ukhansela engathithi mhlawumbe ugcina ntambamanga. Thina-ke njenge-caucus ye-ANC we fully support this recommendation of this item ukuthi siqhubeke noMasakane, although understand ukuthi i-budget yesihlanganisa this time ngokwamazoni ngoba sizama khona ukumanager nokucontrola into yama-cost. Ngiyabonga kakhulu Speaker, I thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Pewa. Councillors, page 45, item 3.3. Is the recommendation agreed?
No.
Agreed.
Right. Let me have the.
No, Somlo.
Let me have the screen.
Inkatha
No,
ayivumi.
IFP, no.
That's why I'm saying I need the screen. Ngizwile. Let me have the screen, please. Councillors, we are now voting so that yes, there is a screen. ANC, are you in support or against or abstain? ANC?
Support.
4, thank you. DA?
Against.
Thank you. EFF? EFF? IFP?
Not in support.
Action SA?
Against.
ABC?
In support.
ACC?
Abstain.
ACTP?
Against.
AIC? DLC? DLC? Mr. Pillay? ADEC?
Abstain, Mr. Speaker. Abstain.
Thank you. APF?
They're showing the match here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they are showing the match.
Councillors, there's someone who has
Showing the
opened.
match.
Councillor Parok? Councillor Parok?
My apologies, Speaker.
Please mute your mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
APF? APF? Al-Jama?
Al-Jama abstains, Chair.
ATM?
ATM in support.
JEP?
JEP in support.
KZNI? MF?
Abstain.
Mosa?
Support.
NFP?
NFP support.
PFP?
PFP support.
PRM? PRM? Awuthela ukuyinkinga yagesi umnakathi. TA? UMI?
UIM abstain.
Sorry, UIM, sorry about that. Abstain, thank you. Freedom Front?
In support, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Secretariat, Ubasa Ngambis.
The Speaker, DLC abstains.
DLC abstains.
Yes.
Yes, Speaker.
Okay. EFF?
Abstain.
EFF abstain. Who else? APF? With APF. APF. Awutholakali ubani omunye. KZNI. Voted colleagues.
PRM, TA.
Yeah, PRM umnikati have reported that is struggling with connection. Shoot akekho umnikati. Then the APF. TA. TA is present. TA. TA, can you vote?
TA in support.
In support, thank you. I think we're done.
KZNI.
Last time, KZNI.
Fine, abstain.
Okay, thank you. Secretariat, let's add the numbers. Yeah, thank you, councillors. We were voting on page 45, item 3.3. Those who are in support, there are 98. Those who in support is 98. Those who voted against, 77. Those who abstained, 28. Therefore, the item is being carried through. Thank you very much, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We now move to item 4.1, the direct EXCO reports. The first item there is request for authority to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Provincial Department of Human Settlements for the Phase 3 rectification of pre-1994 residential properties in extension R293 towns. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Councillors, item 4.1, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item 4.2, progress report and proposed interventions for the resettlement of the April-May 22 disaster victims from the mass care centers. Committee recommends.
Yeah, thank you very much, City Manager, Councillor Mieni and Councillor Anipen, then Councillor Siswaga.
NFP welcome the report as it seeks to bring hope to all the disaster victims who lost their homes. It's also paramount to acknowledge the contribution of private sector in this regard, because we believe that the private and public partnership is paramount for reflection of safe delivery. Ngaba senzile kodwa lo mfundisi njenge-NFP that acknowledge a foreign tendency which we saw in this municipality for the first time, where one member of the ESCO was polluting things which were not funded. And we want to register that today we are very happy with that. And we also want to share.
Thanks. No, I'm getting too fat. Everyone is saying I'm too fat.
Sorry, Councillor Mieni. Sorry, Councillor Mieni. While we are struggling to hear you, but Councillor Pillay, please mute your mic. Councillor Motley, Councillor Pillay, please mute your mic. Thank you. Proceed, Councillor Mieni.
Songa somlomo siyafisa futhi ukuthi uma ngabe sekwenziwa lolu hlelo lokuthi abantu bakithi bamuve la bekhona baye ezindaweni ezingcono kube khona uhlelo oluqondile oluzobhekelana kakhulu
Your time is
nokudla
up.
kwabo.
Your time is up, Councillor.
Thank you.
Your time is up. Councillor Anipen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Etukwini advertises as part of its motto that it wishes to be or become the most caring and livable city by 2030. One notes with concern that the timeline constantly moves. One is also concerned by the fact that some 6 months later, after these floods, flood victims are still being housed in makeshift homes, such as halls, churches, and care facilities, etc. One shudders to imagine how we will ever achieve this ideal of being a caring and livable city if we continue in this way. May I remind this House and that those affected by the floods of April and May 2022, that these are the poorest of the poor. Our inability to provide decent housing for these people is not only a contravention of their human rights, but a travesty of justice of unparalleled proportions. I remind this House too that it was 2 months ago that the IFP posed questions to this Council about this matter, which I believe has forced this immediate action. People deserve better. The IFP believes that as a city, we have to do better. We are hoping to see this process accelerated so that people will soon be relocated to more suitable and conducive environments worthy of human habitation. We hope that these victims will get the necessary counseling and rehabilitation as well to attend to the psychosocial challenges experienced by these victims, not only caused by the floods, but by living in these inhumane conditions. The IFP notably supports this recommendation.
Thank you very much, Councillor Soga. Can you check whether Soga is unmuted? Councillor Soga, you're unmuted. You can address Council. Please unmute your mic.
Thank you, Speaker. I think as the African National Congress, we applaud and would like to say we support this point here because nobody foresaw that we'll be having floods. Nobody can plan floods. Floods are just these measures that just happen through nature. And then we feel it is our responsibility to ensure that our people are provided with a decent shelters and housing. So it is our belief that as African National Congress, it is important that we enter into these partnerships and also make sure that we acquire these privately owned buildings to ensure ukuthi sinikeza abantu especially omama ney'ngane indawo enesithunzi nephephile la bezokwazi ukuthi bahlale khona. Kuye kuzwakalise ubuhlungu-ke when we try to play politics even with issues of a disaster njengale, when one you hear parties wanting to claim because they were the first to do this and the other, when they know for a fact that it was the African National Congress who even went and visited these sites and came up with these ideas. But here now, because we're not about claiming glory for such disasters, but ours is to ensure that people are provided with services that is humane and decent. We therefore say this is not the space and time to politic, but it's a space and time to provide decent housing to our people. Therefore, u-African National Congress, umbutho kaTambo, ubona kukuhle kakhulu ukuthi asivume le item kwi-agenda, abantu banikezwe indawo enesithunzi la bezohlala khona. And then-ke abanye can continue claiming fame. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Swaga. Page 47, item 4.2. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Assistant
Speaker, don't
Manager?
you have my name on your list?
No, I don't have,
No.
unfortunately, Deputy Mayor. So what about that? City Manager?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Item number 4.3, request.
Councillor Kwala, your hand is up.
Yebo somlomo bekuyi-point of order bengifuna ukubuza ukhansela uSoka bengifuna ukusho umethe umbutho bengibuza ukuthi lo ohlulwa ukukhokhela ama-service ema-offices a-ANC.
Aye, Babu Kwala. City Manager?
Out of order.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Item number 4.3, request for authority to undertake Section 33 for contract PS 2022/005 pertaining to professional services contract for the design, contract supervision and construction of the Njongweni to Dazinhoek wastewater treatment works trunk sewer in Ward 7, 12, 13 and 14. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Item 4.4, request for authority to undertake Section 33 process for contract PSC 2017/012 pertaining to professional services contract for the design and construction supervision to upgrade the Mangosuthu University of Technology trunk sewer. Committee recommends.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed, Speaker.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Item 4.5, request for authority to undertake Section 33 process for contract PSC 2015/019 provision of consulting services for the design and construction supervision of the Cato Ridge Trunk Sewer Project, Ward 1, 4 and 5. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mpele. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed,
Thank
Honourable
you,
Speaker.
Mr. Mpele.
Item 4.6, noting of the Local Government Municipal Systems Amendment Act number 22, Act number 3, Act 2022, Act number 3 of 2022. Committee recommends.
Thank you, City Manager. Councillors, item 4.6, is the recommendation agreed? Is noting, is
Speaker,
noted.
It
Councillors,
is noted, Speaker.
is noted. Thank you, City Manager.
4.7, Development Bank of Southern Africa humanitarian relief and stabilization support for flood victims within eThekwini municipal area. Committee recommends.
4.7, is the recommendation agreed, councillors?
Agreed.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Item number 4.8, request for funding to address the South Durban Basin floods risk threatening the economic stability of eThekwini municipality and South Africa. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, councillors. I wanted to confirm some few things. We are on 4.8. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed, Speaker.
Thank you. City Manager.
Speaker, that takes us to a circular number 18 of 2022.
Chair.
Okay, there's someone to speak.
On item 4.8, we are supposed to have a speaker there.
On item 4.8.
That's correct.
Okay, for outbreak. Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Mtetwa. What I will do, because I think there's been a mistake on our side when we were writing this item as speakers, then our agenda just ended on page 54, item 4.7. We don't have 4.7 in our list of speakers. I think is an oversight on our side. Therefore, I will allow you, Councillor Mtetwa, to address us on the matter, although already the matter has been.
But Speaker,
let me finish. Although the matter already has been supported, but because it has been an oversight on our side, I will just allow you. You can address, Councillor.
but Speaker, Councillor Maraj.
Yes,
Speaker?
Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
On the previous occasion, you told us the same thing. Because the matter was agreed, you could not reopen it. Then the same principle should apply here.
Yeah, no, you're correct, Maharaj. You see, the difference this time, is because in the list of speakers that I have in front of me, the items only end at 4.7. There have been a mistake from the side of my team to assume that the agenda or items end at 4.7, but the agenda end at 4.8. Now, that's why I'm saying, in acknowledging that oversight from the side of my team, the agenda end at 4.8, I will therefore allow them to address us while the matter has been supported, just to hear them, what they want to say, because it's not their mistake, it's my mistake, of which I accept it and I apologize to council. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Councillor Belte, I'm told you are to speak on the item. You can address council.
Honorable Speaker.
Who's that?
Councillor Kahunda.
Yes, Councillor, His Worship.
Yes, no, we support what you are saying, Honorable Speaker, but there was also an omission on the side of TTA to allow us to exhaust the matter without raising that there was a challenge on their speakers which were omitted. So when we had already voted, in principle, we need to sustain your decisions that when we already voted on the item, because they kept quiet, they only raised it when we were considering other matters. So that is my submission, Honorable Speaker. I'm not against your ruling, but it's a matter of principle that we need to sustain whenever we deal with the rules and procedures. Thank you.
I thank very much, His Worship. I think you are correct in terms of the procedure of the meeting, but because there's an oversight happen on our side, we need to be seen to be fair because it's not their mistake, it's our mistake. Yes, we voted, but I just want to give them a chance for us to hear what they wanted to raise. Otherwise, it don't change anything. Councillor Pete, unless if you want to assist us better while we admit our mistake and our apology, then you decide not to speak because already we have voted on the matter while I'm not preventing you to speak, but you understand the dilemma I'm in. Councillor Pete, do you want still to address council? Councillor Pete? It looked like we are struggling, Councillor Pete, to... Yeah, councillors will then proceed because it looked like Councillor Pete is struggling to connect. That was the last item, councillors, in our agenda. Again, I have to formally apologize to council and to the DA for what happened in terms of the list of speakers received from my office. Apologies, as I've indicated that councillors were going to take a break, but before the break, we're going to go back to our main agenda, but straight to, I think it's page 14. Is the question that was supposed to be responded, I think is in page 14. The last question. Yeah, the last question, yeah. Yeah, it's page 14. I'm told now responses are ready. Is Councillor Mnyandu who was supposed to provide answers. Page 14. Let me have the answers, please.
No.
Page 14.
Yebo, ngiyazwakala.
Yes.
Yes, Speaker. Bingelele City Manager. Let me go back to my questions and answers. The question is...
Don't read the question, just give us the answer to save your time.
The answer is, okay, thanks. The answer is operational budget is available, but the capital budget was affected by budget constraints within the city. The answer number 2, there will be people on responsibility allowance to assist with patrols. Answer number 3, budget constraint is affecting the whole municipality, especially since COVID. Number 4, yes, regular patrols have been taken by rangers from other reserves. 5, the money generated by the nursery goes to the municipality treasury. Number 6, Silver Glen is a small reserve to accommodate the big 5. 7, yes, Silver Glen is the jewel for the city, and plans are in place to revive it to be the best tourism attraction in the city. Number 8, reserves are appealing for thick brush and trees to be cleared at least 20 meters away from the rear of their homes. Can this be done as a matter of urgency? Fence clearing is done regularly as a management tool to avoid fires from crossing to a private properties. Clearing is for 10 meters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mnyandi, for those responses. Councillors, we are going to take a 20-minute break. 30-minute break. Then we'll come after 30 minutes to deal with the supplementary agenda. Then we will conclude after that. Let's adjourn. Thank you very much for 30 minutes. 30 minutes to are back. Thank you very much.
Speaker?
Yes, Bamchato.
Just clarity, is your team going to be on standby to readmit councillors who might want to leave the meeting for now? Because it's not reasonable to just use your data for 30 minutes without a meeting procedure. So if councillors are logging off now,
okay,
going to be on standby.
Yeah, we'll attend to that, Councillor Mcheta. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We'll take care of that. Thank you very much. Councillors, let's be back exactly 30 minutes. Thank you.